Hey guys, Jonathan here, and today we're winding it back to 2006 to take a look at the legendary LEGO Batman, the Batwing, the Joker's Aerial Assault. This came out in January 2006 with 523 pieces, 3 minifigs, actually none of which were exclusive to this set, and a retail price of $50, which adjusted for inflation would be $80 today. Now, I think if we saw this exact set come out today for $80, we would all be shaking our heads, but back in the day for $50, this did feel just about right. This was one of the few LEGO Batman sets that sadly I never got as a kid, so getting it all these years later is such a treat and super awesome. Today on the market, this goes for about $200 used and just over $400 if you want one new sealed in the box. Anyway, let's jump right into the set and check out all the cool things going on. Now, when it comes to LEGO reviews, I don't always showcase the boxes, but in rare exceptions like this, where I do have a historic box, I think it is cool to show because a lot of people may have never seen this before. So the box art, of course, is legendary in its own right, but something that a lot of people don't know is that it's actually embossed. I don't know if it really comes across screen very well, but the front is like raised, like the studs and everything. It's just got a really cool texture to it, and LEGO didn't do that a ton. We've got the original price sticker on the bottom, which is legendary. Of course, the Batman logo is embossed as well. Up top, we've got digital renders of all 3 of the minifigs included in this set. And then around back, we can look at all of the play features here. Like, well, we're going to look at all those play features up close. But another cool thing was the comic book on the back. So we got this rendered art here of all the LEGO Batman sets from the first wave all in one place. The Batcave, the Batwing, the Killer Croc, as well as Catwoman and the Two-Face chase set. And beneath that, we actually have a very interesting stylized comic very briefly explaining the story of what's going on in this set, which is cool, and I absolutely love that. Now, this set also did come with some weapons, like the handcuffs here, the batarangs, all that stuff. I've actually not got those with this, so I'll pull some of the accessories, but I did just want to show them here. Then, of course, we have the legendary instruction booklet. And again, not going to spend a crazy amount of time on this, but just because a lot of people may not have ever seen this, like, look how the black colors just blend so bad together. Like, you can barely tell what's supposed to be gray, what's supposed to be black, but we do have this beautiful, beautiful rendered art piece on the back. And something I wanted to call attention to is the Batman minifigure on the back, because this minifigure shown in the artwork is not the one that actually comes in the set. You can see he has a different belt print. It's a darker gray, and I always wondered whatever came of that minifigure. Like, it obviously exists because it was used for product photography, but we never actually got that exact version of that figure in any LEGO set or product that was commercially available. So with the minifigs, we'll start off by taking a look at Batman. Now, you guys have to remember, this was the first LEGO Batman that was ever released. Of course, we also got the gold and black version in other sets, but for all intents and purposes, those 2 were the very first Batman minifigs ever, and some of the first superhero minifigs too, when you consider we got Spider-Man sets from 2002 to 2004. Batman, of course, kicked things off for the DC Universe. When we lift the helmet off, you can see that he does have a white band above his eyes, much like the modern version, so that when you put the cowl back on, he's got the white eyes underneath there. As far as printing on the back or anything, nothing is there. It's completely barren, and then, of course, on the back of the head, there was no printing too. Front and back printing on minifigs back in this era was pretty rare. We really didn't get that until the modern age. And then, of course, we got a great torso here with that bat symbol that stretches all the way to the shoulders, a yellow utility belt, black hips, and a light bluish gray torso and legs as the base. We also got a henchman for the Joker. He's got a black beanie on, a standardized villain face. These faces were used on Spider-Man villains and various, mobsters and bad guys from the DC universe from the original Batman waves. Then just a purple torso with tan hands and dark gray legs. I think it was nice that we got some bad guys to go with like Joker and Two-Face back in the day, because a huge part of their stories in the cartoons and the comics, of course, are having their henchmen that do the dirty work, and in this case, pilot the Joker's helicopter. And then, of course, we have the Joker, who is an absolutely legendary minifigure when it comes to LEGO superheroes. Now, this was the first set ever to include the Joker, again, back in 2006, so this was also by that very nature, the very first Lego Joker ever. I think that this is one of the most timeless Lego minifigs ever. It was so ahead of its time in the fact that the face is super detailed. You've got the yellow teeth on a white head, the little wrinkle lines by his eyes there that look so good, yet it's perfectly stylized too to the old video game era, and it just is such a great figure. The torso, of course, is a perfect blend of the comic books and even the Jack Nicholson style of the Joker. Of course, getting a 1x2 printed piece here with the Joker card on it was awesome and exclusive to this set. We also got the little prop gun here with the bang piece coming out of it, which looks so great, and that great vampire hair in green made for such a memorable minifigure. There, of course, was no expression on the back of the head, as mentioned. Things like that were exceptionally rare for this time, and yeah, just an incredible minifig and one I'm so grateful to have in the collection. Okay, so we'll start small with the Joker's helicopter here, and this was such a neat build. You know, it's very emblematic of its time in 2006 with a very blocky construction, yet a lot of sticker details that in a lot of ways I feel put it ahead of its time. There were a lot of great play features hidden in too, but let's start with the more obvious ones, like the big propeller up front and the propeller up back. I really like these Joker style, I don't know what you would call these, like landing platforms, I guess. They're very sturdy and built in great. Of course, the Joker sticker on the side, which is kind of an amalgamation between like a human face and the Lego face, was a lot of fun. And of course, the J's on the back here were cool too. Now, of course, we could open up the front here, and we actually have room to fit both minifigures in here. So you could put one up front, and then, of course, the Joker in the back. I think we have to lose his accessories to make him fit the right way, though. There we go. And then we can close it up and have them both fly off into battle. Now, we also want to remove the Joker for one of the main and most fun play features here, and that is the rope ladder that can go off to the side. Now, we've got this piece here, and we've got this rope ladder that used 2 Spider-Man webs and then black droid arms the whole way up to make for a ladder. Then we put this in here, like this, and then we can have the Joker grab his gun like this, and then hold on to one of the little pedals here. Now that we've taken to the sky, we've got to talk about the play feature with all of this, and that is this little radar here. The Batwing actually has a missile you can shoot, and when you hit it just right, it'll push this back and make the Joker fall to his peril. So that's a really fun play feature. Well, unless you're the Joker. Now for some of the smaller details, we could actually make both of these little side panels move out and then swivel around for these guns that come out of the side. They're kind of like toxic blasters or something like that. And then, of course, you could swivel both of those in and fold them back into the main body of the helicopter. And then for the final play feature, we can actually pull this tab out of the back, and it makes some toxic bombs come out of the bottom. Of course, these were translucent yellowish green heads that had printing on them that were kind of like, I wouldn't call them fear toxin because that's more of the Scarecrow's thing, but definitely cool little play features there, little insanity bombs, I guess we could call them. I guess it depends on whatever you want your Lego adventure to be, but that is the Joker's helicopter. Now, I did want to shout out that we get a very cool build here that actually can support the entire Batwing to stand upright like this. It makes for a great display, of course, but also a cool play feature so that Batman can, like, climb the ladder to get up into the Batwing, and that's super cool. While not an intended feature, I also found, oops, almost dropped it, that you could get it to kind of balance just perfectly here for flight mode too. Again, this is not an intended feature for the base, but if you wanted to display it like this, you certainly could, and I think you can even get it to lean forward a little bit more too. No, I guess not. It always leans back, but I don't know if that was really intended. The instructions don't say anything about it, but I find that I like this display a little bit better than the other, but it is technically supposed to go this way, where you just take it and put those red thrusters into the slot there and let gravity do the rest. Okay, so for the actual Batwing itself, we can lift forward this cockpit here and insert Batman into the driver's seat. There are no significant details inside, like any kind of piloting or things like that, but there actually is a little bit of storage there where you could put batarangs or any other kind of accessories that you collect, and Batman fits in there nice and snug. I think he actually looks great inside too, and I really like that they gave us the light bluish gray version of the suit. That way, from a distance, Batman still really really pops out. If it was the black one, he really would have blended in there. That being said, we do have some stickers. We've got Batman logos on the front here and a sticker on kind of like this back middle part here. The build is absolutely huge. Like, I'm shooting this on my 0.5 camera wide angle lens just to get the entire build into frame here. As far as play features go, the biggest one, of course, is that we can push back this entire back piece here and have a missile pop out. And then, of course, we could shoot a missile out just like this. Now, I'm going to put it back on the stand here that we looked at just a second ago because it's a little easier to showcase the missile if both my hands are free. Okay, so starting from the front, again, we push this piece back and then we've got the missile. And all you have to do is push this all the way back down and it shoots the missile out just like that. These old missiles were so cool and something that LEGO rarely does nowadays. So really awesome to get that. I guess it doesn't want to clip in all the time. There we go. It's a little finicky. You know how old Lego sets can be. Now, of course, when we move it to the side, we can also lift up these wings. They just click up into place here. Then once the wing is lifted up, we can actually push this forward to have some missiles and guns come out from both sides. That's repeatable on both sides, and I think that that's really cool. Then, of course, we just push those back into place and push the wings back down. This was obviously heavily inspired by the 1989 Tim Burton era Batwing, and I think it translated into minifig playscale form so well. All right, guys, let me know what you think about this set in the comments down below. Needless to say, this is an absolute classic from the original Lego Batman line, and it is so cool to add it to the collection. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.